Hey there, welcome to Tour de Lafayette. I'm your host, Stephen Smith. Today we'll be taking a tour of the Highland Park neighborhood. Originally, Kossuth Street was thought of as the southern boundary of Lafayette, until Highland Park was established in 1891. We're here at 715 Miami Avenue to see owners Jim and Joy Roach. And I think I hear them. Hey guys, how you doing? Jim, if you could tell us a little bit about the history of this home.
Sure, Stephen. The home, from our records, it seems like it was built between 1902 and 1906. It's a colonial revival.
What first attracted you to the home and this neighborhood?
Well, my mother grew up just on Shawnee, which is just over the bicycle bridge, and her four sisters, the Krabby girls, and so there's a lot of family history here.
Obviously you have a great porch out here. What are some of the things you enjoy doing out here?
Just sitting and reading and watching the kids on the triangle or ride their bikes. Well, as you can see, it's a pretty open floor plan, which is unusual in some older homes. They do tend to have more of the smaller rooms, but this one did not, and that's what truly has drawn me to it, as well as the family connection. This is probably one of the best features of the house as far as the actual woodworking goes. A lot of people think it looks like a ship.
Just more about the staircase with the curved wood. As Joy mentioned before, this effect right here is just remarkable, and it does resemble like an old wooden ship.
Well, Jim and Joy, thanks for showing us this remarkable home.
Well, you're welcome, Stephen, and we're happy to be part of the Tour de Lafayette.
Take care.
Thank you.
We're here at the corner of Shawnee and Kossuth at yet another historic home in the Highland Park neighborhood. And Julie, can you tell us a little bit about this home and its history?
Well, it's part of the original Highland Park tract planned housing that took place in the early 1890s, and this home was built in 1893 by the Daniels. It was sold 2 years later to John Wagner, and he was one of the partners in the Thiemann Wagner Brewery. So John and Zoe Wagner lived here for a long period of time and then deeded it to their son, one of their four sons, Balth Wagner, and he had it until 1963. So it was just really a two-family owned home until the 60s, and it's a colonial revival home. It has some elements of Queen Anne with a sweeping roof line, but it is built in the colonial revival style. This is one of our favorite rooms of the home. It is the original nursery of the home, has the original Dutch door, and if you look at the closet door, it's also very low, child size, and so we have furnished it with an Eastlake bed that is from the period. This is also a room that we use very frequently. We've filled it with some of the art that we enjoy, some of our Chinese art, and we've tried to stick with furniture that comes from, again, the late 1800s. A few pieces are older than that.
The porch is one of my favorite places in the house. We often have wine and popcorn out here, and neighbors who walk by with their dogs in the neighborhood often stop, and so we have many spontaneous parties.
As I mentioned, this is the Daniels Wagner house. The Daniels built it in 1891 and sold it, or 1893, and the Wagners purchased it 2 years later, 95, and they owned Thiemann Wagner Brewery. During Prohibition, this was their sign when they were creating Appleade and root beer and a variety of non-alcoholic beverages.
Well guys, thank you so much for showing us your just beautiful home. It's very well maintained, and we're really thankful that you're able to show us. The next stop on our tour is the old Highland School. Let's see if we can't go inside and find Julie Ginn, one of the residents and also the developer of this building. We've tracked down Julie in the school's gymnasium, and Julie, would you mind telling us just a little bit about Highland Park's history and what it's currently being used for?
Highland Park School was a public school from 1923 to 1981, and then it was a privately run school from 81 until 2002, and I purchased it at that time and have redeveloped it into condominiums. This is classroom number 5, and this has the original oak built-ins that the kids used to hang their coats and the teachers used to store their supplies. I lived in Highland Park, and I drove by the school every day, and I thought that it was architecturally significant building, and I felt like it should be reused. And this is my unit, and it did not have any original old oak built in, so I chose to make the countertops out of the old chalkboard. So this is the slate from the old chalkboards.
Julie, thanks a lot for showing us your home and taking us on a tour of the school. We really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
We're wrapping up our tour of Highland Park here on the pedestrian bridge, which children once used as a shortcut to get to school. For Tour de Lafayette, I'm Stephen Smith. Remember, preserving the past is preserving the future.